Chief reporter Kaveh Solokol has come back on set. Kaveh, oh my goodness. How do you react to that?
Well, look, the first thing you should say is that referees are human beings. They make mistakes like everybody else. They were working there in a very highly pressurised environment, and they made a mistake, and it was a big mistake, and the eyes of the world were on them, and now they are paying the consequences.
Arsenal walked off the Emirates pitch with a sense of disbelief and frustration, convinced that they had done enough to earn a victory against Brentford, only to watch the result slip away because of a highly disputed VAR decision that refused to award what seemed like an obvious penalty. The match, already tense due to the stakes and the physical nature of Brentford's approach, ended with the home crowd loudly expressing their anger, not toward the players or the performance, but toward the officials whose decision overshadowed everything else that happened on the pitch. The moment in question came at a time when fatigue, pressure, and desperation collided, as Arsenal attacked with intensity in search of a late breakthrough that would tilt the match in their favour. A quick piece of combination play sliced through Brentford's defensive line, leading to a direct run into the penalty area. The forward was clipped by a Brentford defender who stretched his leg in a late challenge, causing visible disruption to the forward's balance. Arsenal players immediately appealed, arms raised, calling for a foul that looked like a straightforward penalty in real time. The referee's decision to waive play on shocked the players, but what stunned them even more was VAR's refusal to step in. The review appeared brief, almost rushed, and after a few seconds of silence, the confirmation arrived: no penalty, no on-field review, and play continued without interruption. The expressions on the faces of Arsenal players told the story better than words could. Several stood in disbelief, staring at the referee with open arms, bewildered by how a challenge that looked clear to them could be dismissed so casually. Brentford defenders, meanwhile, breathed a visible sigh of relief, fully aware that they had avoided a punishment that could have changed the match entirely. The supporters inside the stadium did not hide their reaction. A wave of noise, defined by outrage rather than passion, echoed through the stands in the seconds after the decision. The disbelief quickly turned into a collective sense of injustice, a feeling that the team had been denied something they had earned through effort, pressure, and determination. Outside the stadium, the reaction was immediate, with social media flooded by replays, slowed angles, and screenshots. Fans shared clips from multiple perspectives, claiming that the contact was clear and that the referee had been reckless in allowing the game to continue without intervention. Some posted comparisons with decisions from other matches, pointing out that far less forceful challenges had resulted in penalties earlier in the season. Football pundits and former players soon joined the discussion, many of them agreeing that the challenge was careless and that a penalty would have been reasonable, especially under modern interpretations of the laws. A few tried to justify the officials' call by arguing that the attacker exaggerated the contact, but those voices were drowned out by the overwhelming majority who felt that the referee and VAR had failed to apply the rules consistently. The argument that frustrated Arsenal fans the most was not simply whether the call was harsh or soft, but that similar incidents often produced different outcomes from one match to another, creating a sense of unpredictability and unfairness. Decisions that should be objective instead feel influenced by context, emotion, or officiating personality, factors that should not matter but somehow do. Brentford's approach to the match added another layer to the frustration. Their game plan was intentionally disruptive, centered on physical engagement, compact defending and aggressive pressing. They forced Arsenal to work for every inch of space, shutting down channels, delaying transitions, and using fouls tactically to break rhythm. In many ways, the strategy was effective. Arsenal dominated possession but spent long stretches struggling to find clear shots at goal, often crowded out or forced wide. Brentford defenders threw themselves into blocks, used their bodies to shield the ball, and constantly tried to make Arsenal's attackers uncomfortable. Their goalkeeper played a crucial role as well, stopping dangerous attempts and slowing the tempo whenever possible. Even though the away team offered little attacking threat, their commitment to defending as a unit showed discipline and tactical intelligence. For Arsenal, the match was far from perfect, but there were plenty of positives. Their attacking structure looked fluid, their passing combinations were sharp, and their pressing limited Brentford's ability to counter. They created enough chances to win, even without the penalty, and on a more clinical night, they might have scored 2 or 3. However, as often happens in football, the story was not shaped by the flow of the game but by one moment that changed its direction. Arsenal's frustration was rooted not only in the missed penalty, but in the feeling that they had forced Brentford into mistakes, applied pressure until cracks appeared, and had earned the opportunity to convert that pressure into a decisive moment. Mikel Arteta handled the situation with a mixture of restraint and honesty. He did not explode or call out individuals, but his tone clearly conveyed dissatisfaction. He emphasized the importance of accountability, noting that football decisions carry consequences that extend beyond a single match. He also hinted at a recurring pattern of inconsistency that has affected his team more than once this season. His players, too, understood that public frustration would not change the outcome, but their body language on the pitch during the incident showed how deeply they felt the injustice. Professional athletes often hide emotion behind composure, but this moment pushed beyond composure, sparking real disbelief. In the wider context of the Premier League season, the result could prove costly. The battle for European qualification is unpredictable, and points lost in matches decided by fine margins can become defining moments later on. Supporters fear scenarios where this match is remembered as one of the moments that undermine the campaign, not because of failure in performance, but because of failure in officiating. The psychological impact also matters. Teams rely on momentum, confidence, and belief, and nothing disrupts those qualities more than feeling powerless against external forces. The controversy has also reignited ongoing debates about VAR's role in football. Many fans feel that technology has complicated the game rather than improved it. Instead of eliminating uncertainty, it has created a new type of controversy, one shaped by silence, secrecy, and confusion. Supporters do not simply want correct decisions, they want transparency. Without explanations, spectators are left to fill the gaps with assumptions of bias, incompetence, or unfairness. As Arsenal reflect on the night, the conclusion is simple but painful. They were organized, creative and determined. They controlled long stretches of the match, earned enough chances to win, and pushed their opponents into mistakes. Yet despite that effort, they walked away with a result that did not reflect their performance, because a moment that should have changed the match never received the decision it deserved. The feeling of being robbed will fade with time, but the memory of it, and the doubt it creates, may linger long after the result has been recorded.